Now, you've looked at several of these companies that are doing these tests.
Yes.
Do you think that they explain what you just explained to us?
No, I don't think any of them does as good a job of pointing out the limitations. But, businesses often don't go around telling you how weak their product is.
We don't oversell. I mean, we just say, look, we provide a service. If you're interested in exploring a tiny bit of your DNA and trace its ancestry, we can do that.
When you say it's a tiny little amount,
It's less than 0.1%.
and that's pretty teeny.
Yeah, but for people who know nothing about any of them, I think it's very important.
From New York,
African Ancestry back on the program. Give it up one time. Introduce yourself to the people again.
Good morning. I'm Gina Page. I'm the president and co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com.
Now, Gina has come back for the sole purpose to reveal all of our African ancestry, which ours took so long just to get, or mine took so long because we had to get my cousin, who's 60, who's my grandmother's sister's daughter, so that we could find out the maternal side of my dad's side. Because of, obviously my mom's white, but if you find out the paternal side, the odds are that you will have more European blood if you're African American because of how much white men were having sex with black women. Yes?
You said it. So we find European ancestry 35% of the time for black men.
On the paternal
line.
That's how much sex, but it's also social too because
Paternal side.
Because if you trace the paternal side, all the DNA will go back through the father. It raises, you get that from your dad. It raises the odds that you'll have European because white men was having sex with a lot of black women.
But then why would it be the paternal? I'm not smart enough. I don't understand.
Can you help him understand?
I can. So Ebro got half of his, or you got half of your DNA from your father. Okay. And part of that DNA is the Y chromosome.
Okay.
The Y chromosome is inherited by the son from the father. So you have the same Y chromosome as your father and his father and his father and so on.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so when we want to trace the ancestry of that line,
The
we look
African ancestry.
just the ancestry. The ancestry of that line, we have to look at the Y chromosome.
Okay.
But when we look at the Y chromosome of black men, it tends 35% of the time it goes back to Europe because of the behavior of slaveholders, slave traders, and other white men. They were having children with enslaved black women.
Got it. So it's your male lineage that ends up being European.
Exactly.
Got it.
So I needed to find because my mom's already white, we know that. For me to trace my black side, I had to find a woman to raise the odds to really find out.
I get it. Makes sense.
So we
Somehow she said it more eloquently than you. It was weird.
We sent him the paternal test. So he did the paternal test, but then I said, let's do another one just to be sure, because I didn't want to come back in case it did say.
Well, mine's going to come back that I'm like Scottish, Irish, and British. I'm just fronting like I'm a black dude.
Yo, would the internet love
that's
that?
what the internet would die.
Yo,
you
Ebro's
would break
white.
the internet.
Ebro's white, 100%.
That's what it is, 100%.
Yo, I've heard him say the N-word too. This is crazy.
It
would all come
Oh
apart.
my God!
It would all of it.
Known white man, Ebro says. Yo, his name's
Use the
Ebro.
N-word.
No wonder
Then
they put bro in his name.
They start bringing up all the old footage of me using the N-word.
gosh.
I'm out of here,
Yo,
bro.
it's
I'm finished.
over for you.
It's over. All right, so who's doing first? Mine, or we want to say mine for last, since I'm the one that's the most mixed?
I'm just so jealous of you because I've been dreaming of a certificate that I was black my whole life.
I think we should do you next.
All right, let's see. Maybe this is the
right.
moment
Yo,
of
you
truth.
blacker than me. Odds are you blacker than
No,
me.
Let's
I
see.
really don't think so, unfortunately.
So what do you know about your mother's people?
My mother's mother, not a lot. Poland, like just Europe, Jewish Europe. That's all I. Past my grandmother, I don't know much about my grandma's mom, to be honest. Not very much.
Okay. So we didn't find your ancestry to be European.
What?
Yo, I need the chords. Yo, you Nigerian, son?
No, what is it? What is it?
It's Middle Eastern.
Whoa. Guru?
Yo, no, that's India. That's India. That's India. Different. That's India.
Yep, it's Middle Eastern now because the testing that we do.
Yo, you're Arabic. You're like an Arabic Jew.
Let her finish, please.
Sorry,
I'm very
excited.
interested. I know.
The best that we can say is Middle Eastern, but we know from what's called a haplogroup, the sort of scientific grouping that your specific lineage belongs to.
It's a tiny little amount,
It's less than 0.1%.
and that's pretty teeny.
Yeah, but for people who know nothing about any of them, I think it's very important.
It's called N1. And the people in N1 are the first to migrate out of East Africa about 50 to 60,000 years ago.
So what you're saying is, correct me if I'm wrong,
Ethiopian.
I'm black is what you're basically saying. I'm like the new Rachel Dolezal is what everyone's saying. So on my mom's side, at some point, mom's mom
Came from Africa.
came from the Middle East.
Middle
and
East.
they came then from Northern Africa.
Exactly.
Prior to that.
Exactly.
Do I get a certificate?
You do.
Yeah, I'm official.
Pretty cool.
Welcome to the
African
family.
My mom's gonna be really excited to see this. Congratulations, Peter. You are finally black. Shares maternal genetic ancestry with Middle Eastern populations belonging to the haplogroup N1b. Very cool. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And it's signed by scientific director Rick Kittles, in case you're wondering.
Yeah. He's
It's
been doing this. How
official.
long has Rick been doing this?
Oh my! His whole career has been dedicated to African and African American lineage research. But I would say for our company, definitely the 16 years, and then about 10 years additionally compiling the database. So 26 years.
Amazing.